Hi everyone, Lisa here for Whimsy Stamps. It's Friday and that means it's time for Fresh Friday over on the blog. Now this is where we take a look at a collection of products that we're going to change out every 2 weeks, and we use these products together to give you some fresh inspiration. Today I'm going to be combining Calorie Schmalories stamp set along with the wavy edger dies and the birthday word die. Now I've stamped several of the cupcakes from that stamp set onto some smooth cardstock using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I'm actually only using one of these cupcakes. I'm going to save the other two for later. And I ran those through my scan and cut and then put some repositionable tape on the back of those and temporarily laid those on a piece of inexpensive cardstock, so it makes it a little bit easy to color. Now, I had a problem where I colored some images and ran them through my die cut, through my scan and cut, and it ate them. That's why I do this. I'm going to go ahead and start coloring our cupcakes. I'm doing a rainbow cupcake. Now, I know sometimes, very rarely, you can buy or you see cupcakes and you won't see the actual cake through the wrapper. But most of the time, we buy the inexpensive wrappers and you can see the cake through the wrapper once it's baked. That's the idea here. So I'm actually making a rainbow cupcake and we're going to see that through that wrapper. So I'm going to be using R29, YR68, Y08, YG21, which was not quite bright enough for me, so I came back in with YG23, and then I'm going to finish this off with BG18. So for the icing area, I decided I wanted it to be white, so a little bit of N0 to a few areas to give a little shading to it. And then we're just going to add lots of little sprinkles with the same colors that we used for our cake. And we're just adding tiny little dots to create those sprinkles. The straw, real simple, black and white. I left some white and then two of them I just colored with black 100. Nothing fancy here. You really don't even have to blend these colors together because cake doesn't blend together. It layers, layer on top of layer on top of layer. So keep that in mind. You don't have to worry about blending a whole lot with this unless you just want to. So we ran a wavy edger die through the die cut machine with a piece of cardstock that's 4¼ by 5½ inches. Now my plan here is to stamp my sentiment Calories, Schmalories along the edge of that wavy die cut paper. I'm going to use my VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink for this and my acrylic block just to go ahead and stamp that. And it came out great, no problems whatsoever. So I'm going to go ahead and add mounting foam to the back of those panels and add that to the stamped panel. And then we'll cut that down to 4¼ by 5½ inches and adhere it to a 4¼ by 5½ inch card base with a tape runner. So I went ahead and added some mounting foam to the back of the colored cupcake and placed it on the card. Now this is the birthday die and shadow. I used black cardstock and white cardstock. For the shadow part, I actually cut 3 of those out and stacked them together with liquid adhesive, just to give a little bit of dimension. We're going to go ahead, stamp our sentiment using Versamark ink, and we did that on black cardstock that had anti-static powder laid down on it. Covering that stamped sentiment with white embossing powder. I recommend ultra fine for sentiments. And then we're going to come in with a preheated heat gun and heat set that. Once it's cooled, we're going to take a rag and wipe off that excess anti-static powder. Then we're going to trim this down with paper trimmer. Once we get these trimmed down, we're going to add some foam adhesive strips to the back of each one so that we can go ahead and place them on the card and start wrapping this up. This card is so easy, comes together really quick. I think it took me a total of maybe 25 minutes to make the whole thing, die cutting, coloring, everything included. It's real easy. So here we are, we're adding the foam adhesive strips to those little sentiment strips. I'm going to go ahead and place the first one. Now, what I did was I took the bring on the cupcake sentiment from the stamp set, and I just snipped the cupcake off because I want my sentiment to read, bring on the birthday cupcakes. So by me snipping the cupcake off of that stamp sentiment, I can now create my own sentiments. And if I want to use it together, I can just piece it back together and stamp it. No big deal. Now I use some liquid adhesive to go ahead and add that birthday word down, and then we place the cupcakes right below that so you can see now our sentiment reads, bring on the birthday cupcakes. We're going to add a few rainbow sequins to finish this off with some liquid adhesive, and then I do believe that's going to be the end of our Fresh Friday tutorial. So I really appreciate you joining me today. I hope you'll click the subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of new content to the channel. Always feel free to share these videos with your crafty friends. We encourage you to invite them to the channel. For more information about the products used, head over to the Whimsy Stamps website, and I hope you have an amazing day.